Hello, beautiful peaches. Welcome to the Macros, Metabolism, and Motivation Beautiful Peach podcast. I'm your host, Caitlen, here to help you find your most unwavering love, beauty, and kindness for yourself inside and out. I will be teaching you nutrition and macro tracking secrets, reverse diet and metabolism health tips and tricks, and motivating the heck out of you so you want to leap up and start conquering your goals right away. I am here to help bring you the light at the end of the tunnel so you can discover that self-love and truly become the most confident, beautiful peach possible. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, or if you're in the car or at the gym, go ahead and bump up your volume just a little so we can drown out those gym grunters next to you, and we can go ahead and dive right in. Don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook by simply doing a 5-star rate and review on this podcast. All you need to do is submit a 5-star rate and review, then send us your name and email through the link in the show notes so we know exactly where to send your cookbook. By submitting your 5-star rate review, this will also automatically enter you into the weekly podcast macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my See You Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely winner who leaves an awesome 5-star rate and review. This winner is announced every week on my Instagram story as well as my newsletter email list. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I'll see you in the episode. What is up, my beautiful peaches? Today's episode is going to be amazing. I have some absolutely phenomenal action steps for you. And I want to take a deep dive into a body positivity journey, specifically talking about the saying, the statement, the thoughts, the feelings, that feeling fat is not actually a feeling. Many years ago, I had someone share with me, feeling fat is not a feeling. It took me a moment to understand what she was saying. And on bad body image days, we often find ourselves scrutinizing ourselves in the mirror, standing in front of it, picking ourselves apart. Some phrases we start to think about ourselves are, I feel gross. I feel ugly. I feel fat. And each and every single one of those words are very harsh words to call someone, especially ourselves. But it's so normalized, and so often you may even find yourself getting ready with your friends, standing in front of your significant other and saying those phrases about yourself, talking bad about yourself. And when you think about it, you would never in a million years say that to someone else's face due to how it's going to make them feel. So we should not be saying it to ourselves. We are talking to ourselves in a way that we would never want to talk to somebody else. And when we are saying things like, I feel fat, I feel ugly, we're saying these negative things about ourselves, we're often actually trying to describe a feeling that we are experiencing, but may not know how to vocalize. So an example, when we might say, I feel fat, we might be actually saying, I feel unworthy, I feel unlovable, I feel unsuccessful, I feel lonely, I feel fill in the blank. So when we are feeling these negative emotions and negative thoughts about ourselves that are portrayed as a physical, I feel fat, I feel ugly, there's something else underlying that's coming up. I feel unworthy, I feel unlovable, I feel unsuccessful, I feel lonely. All of those things are us trying to express those emotions. And it comes out with I feel fat, period. So our weight loss goals are so much more than just losing weight, which is why I really want you to dig deeper than just looking in the mirror and thinking, I feel fat. Don't get me wrong. I want you to know that losing 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 plus pounds, absolutely freaking phenomenal goals. You can 1000% attain that. And also, as you are working towards those goals, I want you to be working through what are those underlying emotions that are coming up? What is coming up when you're looking in the mirror and talking negatively to yourself? Why are you having those feelings? Because as we are working towards those weight loss goals, we want to be healing from the inside out. So when we step up to the plate, when we are at the finish line, we have lost that 100 pounds, when we're feeling amazing, we also love ourselves to the point of that self-awareness, that showing up and looking in the mirror and saying, hey, I might not feel great today. I might not be having a good positive thought about my body image, but you know what to do going forward to say, no, it's okay. So do you want to feel worthy? Do you want to feel, loved unconditionally? Do you want to be free around food? Do you want to stop hiding your body from your significant other? Are you tired of feeling fearful going out to eat? Why is it that you want to lose that weight? And what is it that you really, really, really can dig deep and kind of pull out that is coming up when you look in the mirror and you have those negative thoughts about yourself? And one thing that I really want to do as well is I personally still have some body image days, and it often comes because I have a lot of education on how to lose weight. I feel extremely confident with that. I have the education on how to heal my metabolism. I don't struggle with it. I don't have the struggles with the physical being of where I want to go with my body, which is also why I love to educate you lovely ladies on how to have that confidence as well. So what for me is really important is making sure that on those days where I'm physically not feeling the best, where maybe I'm a little more bloated, I get to think, okay, this is coming from a place of I haven't been taking care of myself for the past couple of days. Maybe I haven't had enough water, sleep, nutrients. Maybe I'm around my period. Our uterus can actually swell, which is why we can actually see the physical changes in our body. And there's just so many different things that can happen that I think a lot of times we'll look in the mirror and completely just immediately be like, nah, I look terrible. And it's like, no, your body's just being your body. Like, give it the love, accept it at all different phases. And something that's important to note is you can control your outcome through education by learning what to do with your body, by learning how to control your macros so you're able to adjust those in a way that's going to allow you to lose weight, to heal your metabolism. And also, you're in control of the way that you talk to yourself. Nothing is final. Your body is always, always, always changing. Bloat is normal. It can happen. It's also not final. Our stomach expands when we eat. I have sometimes people come to me and they'll say, hey, Caitlen, at the end of the day, I just feel so bloated. My stomach is bigger. Yes, that should be a thing that's happening because when we're consuming food, our stomach's going to expand, and that's just a natural bodily reaction. And that's totally, totally, totally normal. And I think it's important to note that mindset shift won't happen overnight. But if you continue to push forward and you continue to talk to yourself in a positive light when you look in the mirror, that is going to be the game changer. So I want to share a few perspectives from my clients in BPM because we were talking about this the other day and I knew that I had this podcast coming up. And of course, I love sharing my own personal perspectives, but I think there's something really nice about having other women's perspectives outside of mine because you might resonate with one of these even more than you resonate with what I say. So I've got 3 mindset shifts that I want to talk about when it comes to our relationship with the way that we talk about ourselves and action steps for each. So here's a mindset share from Ashley. We do mindset shares every Wednesday, so I can help them if they're having a bad mindset day, if something's been going on. Myself and support coach can work them through that, can really make sure we're getting them to a space where they're feeling better, where they're getting past that mindset block. And so these all come from our little mindset shares. And a lot of them are also positive mindset shares, where if you're having an absolutely amazing day, or if you see somebody else who's having mindset block that you've had in the past, you can jump in as well. And that's the beautiful thing about having that community where you have women who are not just going through this with you. You have myself by your side, but you're also creating this safe space for yourself to grow and to actually talk about those internal emotions that you were having, but you're scared to talk about. And it's scary to look in the mirror and say, I feel fat, but really I actually feel unworthy, but really I feel insecure in my body and around my significant other. And so it's important to note that you're not alone and those feelings are okay to have. And also you don't have to continue to have them forever. So let's do a mindset share from Ashley. I'm just going to actually read this straight out from my notes here that I have copied over. She says, I stepped on the scale this morning and I was up a pound overnight. Instead of freaking out mentally, I stood there and I said out loud, this is okay. It is a number. I know I didn't actually magically gain a pound overnight when I've been tracking. This usually sets me back in the morning, but I know the reverse diet and the mental work is helping. So what she did, she stepped on the scale, and it's so powerful because not only did she think this, she out loud stood there and said, this is okay. This is okay. This is a number. I'm okay. I'm tracking my macros. I'm reverse dieting. I'm okay. And so she's verbally telling herself that she is okay. She's controlling what she can. The scale does not run her life. She is not letting it ruin the rest of her day. And she's not so hyper-focused on the scale that she can't see those outside wins. I think a lot of times, actually, if you do resonate with the number of the scale being a complete obsession, highly suggest going to listen to episode 85. It's freeing yourself from the scale obsession, embracing a healthy body image. Highly, highly, highly suggest, because I get some really, really amazing tips and tricks on disassociating the stress and the scale basically running the rest of your day. And my action steps for you, if you resonate with this as well, outside of obviously going to listen to episode 85, as you are on your journey, and whether this is a weight loss phase, whether this is a reverse diet phase, whether it is learning to track macros, I want you to write down 3 non-scale wins every single stinking day. Write those suckers down. I personally journal every single day. And I write 3 gratitudes down before I do anything else. Those gratitudes can be literally anything. I have examples written down here in my notes. I am endlessly grateful for my husband, which I am. He is wonderful. I am grateful for my morning coffee and mini donuts. There is no shame for being happy and grateful for eating a donut and coffee in the morning. It makes me happy. I am grateful for being in control of my actions and owning up to my growth. I had that gratitude the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful that I took that step a decade ago, that I reverse dieted. It saved my life. Tracking macros and reverse dieting saved my life and led me to be here to share this knowledge with you. And how absolutely incredible is that? How incredible, right? Oh, it makes me so excited. So once you write your gratitudes down, go ahead and write down your non-scale wins. I actually pulled these from BPM just because I like to bring non-scale wins out from others and give you different perspective. Karen said, my win is I tried on summer clothes that were snug a few months ago. Now fit great. I was shocked as I haven't seen a ton of movement in the scale. And right, so that's a huge thing to note is you may not always see massive shifts on the scale, but your clothes are fitting smaller, right? I had somebody who is a couple inches down. The scale's pretty much the same. She's inches down. She had to buy 2 sizes smaller. And if we were so hyper-focused on the number of the scale rather than those outside wins, we would have totally lost and totally missed the fact that we're seeing changes happen. Ash says, hit a new low weight this morning, completely shocked that I made no changes to get my macros in this week. My hunger cues are still working and I am down more weight. I realize that is a scale change, but hunger cues are still working, and that actually might not be a good one for non-scale. Now that I'm reading it, I'm like, that's actually a scale win. Here we go, Becca. I've dropped 2 jean sizes, so none of my pants fit, and I decided to buy myself new jeans. So it's paying attention to how your clothes are fitting, the inches, which is why I highly encourage tracking waist measurements, and really focusing in on the non-scale wins, but also making sure that when you do have that moment where you're on the scale, you're like, oh my gosh, it's gone up or it's not changed, do exactly what Ashley said. Say out loud, it is okay. It is just a number. I am okay. You are okay. Okay, so this is Amber Y. I love this one. She says, my mindset this week is great. I am really enjoying life more than I ever have in years. I'm getting used to this being a process and not an overnight fix. That being said, I am starting to like myself a little more each day. I used to look in the mirror and destroy myself. When I have one of those down days, I steer clear from the mirror and I focus on positive affirmation. So I love this mindset share from Amber because she has the self-awareness that this is not an overnight fix. And I think that for many, many women who have been dieting for decades, it's hard to get out of that quick fix, that instant gratification. And she is not trying to rush to the finish line because she's aware that she's on the way and she's creating that long-term change. And that self-awareness is absolutely everything. So my action steps for you here, I've got 2 of them because I want you to follow Amber's exactly. I read this when she said this and I was like, yes, Amber, this is freaking amazing. Don't try and fight it. Avoid the mirror. Allow yourself to say, hey, I'm not feeling great today, but that's okay. I'm not going to feel great every day, and that's just fine. There's nothing wrong with you having a bad mindset day. Nobody is perfect. Just steer clear from the mirror. There may be something going on. You might not have gotten enough sleep. You may be stressed. I mean, there's a variety of different things that could be going on. But if you're tracking your macros, you're hitting your macros, you're reverse dieting, and you're in a weight loss phase, as long as you are staying consistent with your macros, you're golden. You are golden. So the other thing here is wear clothes that make you comfortable. I am the kind of person, mirror checks, body checks, pulling up your mirrors, looking your abs in the mirror. Don't do that if you're having a bad mindset day. If you're feeling great, strut your stuff back out, do it. But if you're not feeling good, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out by trying to hyper-focus on the mirror, okay? So this one's so beautiful. I love this one. This is that Amber H, so a different Amber than Amber White. She says, my mindset this week is very focused and positive. Making it successful through last week when I was feeling so sick and bloated, but stuck to my macros in spite of it, only to see new lows on the scale as soon as I started feeling better, really proved to me that the reverse diet does work. And that if I can continue to control the things that I can control, and I know that the things I can't control will pass soon, was a game changer for me mentally. This week, I am feeling much better and I am dialed into continuing this process so I can get that carb increase. We're doing some carbs for her, and this was actually last week, so she got her carb increase. But I think this is an absolutely phenomenal thing to kind of dive into, because what she shared about her action steps. I'm just going to read this out to you. Here's what she said. I am going to keep last week's experience in mind. So she's not just saying, I had a bad, horrible mindset week, didn't feel great, I was bloated. She's not just saying that and moving on. She's not just forgetting it. She said, I'm keeping it in mind the next time the scale fluctuates, and I'm not going to allow myself to pivot. I am starting to get comfortable with the idea of being in a weight range rather than obsessing over a single number. She says, I'm going to continue to remind myself to treat my body's natural changes with curiosity and non-judgment. I am so thrilled by this. I am going to incorporate these goals into my daily journaling and keep them in the forefront of my mind. Oh my gosh. Rereading these, I'm getting excited again. I am so freaking proud of my clients. And I will tell you this right here and now. When my clients come to me in BPM, whether you decide to ever be a client or not, think about where you are right now. So this is besides just clients, but this is because I have my eyes on my clients, obviously. Where you are prior to tracking macros, where you are prior to diving into this journey, where you are prior to your reverse diet or your weight loss phase, it will not change unless you are also actively working on your internal changes as well. So seeing each of these clients and their mindset shifts from when they started to where they are now is absolutely freaking amazing. And I can tell you without a doubt, they are on the road to long-term changes and success. And that is why I do what I do. And that is why I'm getting here and I'm so excited for it. And, for an added action step on this, let go of the judgment towards ourselves and our body. Things will happen naturally, right? Our uterus will expand around our period. We will have bloat. We won't always feel perfect, and that's okay. We get to love ourselves in a non-judgmental way every single step of the way. And with all this, I am beaming now that I am done with this episode, because I forgot how good it was. And I forgot how excited I was about sharing those mindset tricks and tips. So with all of this, please, I always say this, never hesitate to reach out to me if you are someone who is struggling. Please reach out to me, and I am more than happy to talk through what's going on. Send me a DM on Instagram. I always drop the link to my Instagram down below, and I will be there for you. I love what I do. I have so much passion for what I do. And being someone who has been in your shoes in the past and now being on the other side, I recognize the struggle. I recognize the emotion. I recognize the pain. I recognize the loneliness. And you are not alone. I have been there in the past, and there are thousands of women who are experiencing those feelings with you. It's just a matter of finding that community and finding that group of women who you can share that and grow it and leave those emotions and leave the dieting and leave that in the past so you can step into this freedom and step into this next chapter of your life. So, I just want to hug you all. I just get so excited. So I am always here for you. I hope you enjoy this episode. I had a dang good time reading my notes again and reading those mindset shifts that my clients have had. And I really hope that they help you as well. So with all this, I will see you guys in the next episode. Please don't forget to leave a 5-star rate and review. I cannot tell you how much it makes me happy. I sit there and I'm like scrolling through them, like smiling as I'm reading them. They make me so happy. So with all this, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, my beautiful peach. Don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook by simply doing a 5-star rate and review on this podcast. All you need to do is submit a 5-star rate and review, then send us your name and email through the link in the show notes so we know exactly where to send your cookbook. By submitting your 5-star rate review, this will also automatically enter you into the weekly podcast macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely winner who leaves an awesome 5-star rate and review. This winner is announced every week on my Instagram story as well as my newsletter email list. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I'll see you in the next episode.